My name is Kurt Getzinger. I'm American. Been teaching math for 9 years in the US. Been 2 different places in China and now in Uzbekistan. You know what I like about math? First is the idea of the number, and I've always liked numbers, and so it came from that. And in terms of math, I like the problem-solving aspect of it. I like the fact that there is this one answer, and so you have 1, 2, 3 different pathways of being able to solve for one answer, and that sort of end game is what I really like, and I think what makes math special in terms of other subjects. In secondary, I think one of the big differences with primary is seeing the teacher as more of a facilitator, which means is they are usually guiding the students, and the idea is wanting the students, generally speaking, together in groups. Group work is very important for them to sort of discover on their own. So, and that builds with the reasoning aspect of it. If you're able to find out a problem you don't know using the tools that you have to achieve that is big goal. So getting them to work together, taking ownership, so we call that agency. So we feel that when the students take ownership of their own learning, now they're learning for themselves. They're learning for the joy of discovering, because they found it out themselves. Another example is I was doing a thing with students. They had a problem that they didn't know, but they had the tools to solve it, and they'll do nothing else until they finish that problem. And one student, 2 lessons, hadn't finished this one problem, came back the next lesson, and it took him half of the next lesson to find out the problem. But you talk about the empowerment, the joy that he had. Of course, that time he was like, I don't want to do it. You know what? You are going to solve it. I 100% believe in you. He did solve it, and now he solved the next problem and the next problem. He was able to do it now in 2 minutes, and the empowerment that he got from him, I put in all that time, I solved that problem. That's now mine. Yeah. So it's the idea of when you achieve things on your own, you're creating success on your own terms, and you're building that confidence that you have in yourself. And that confidence is something that you now can apply to other areas. Speaking in front of people, asking someone a question, there's an application skill that you can apply into other areas. A lot of times, students may not understand what the teacher is saying, the fact that they're just an adult. But if you have a friend with you and someone else, there's numerous times that I've experienced where I've tried to say something and teach something 2 and 3 times, and they have this mental block, and then they're with their friend and their partner, and they explain it in their kid way, and they go, oh, that I do it. And one of them is all right, you understand this, you understand the most difficult part of this curriculum. Now, can you go to one of these other students, and would you be able to explain to them this to where they're able to understand it? A lot of the times, I think what's good is the aspects of what British teaching or even American teaching is like. The idea of the facilitating, working together, finding these skills to solve problems. There's nothing more satisfying is when you're sitting there and you hear a student go, oh, that moment of I got it, and they got it on their own. Also, where you're guiding students and you're asking these leading questions, and they're when they're able to answer them and say, okay, there's this connection with the teacher and the student when you're leading them with questions, and they answer the question, but they understand where the next question is going, and so you go on this journey together, and I think that's really great, because when you get to the end, it's so satisfying for both of us. An excellent example of that is in my year 7 class. We have what's called numeracy ninjas, and it's a 5-minute, every week, 5 minutes. They have 3 10-question blocks, mental skills, written skills, and then the number they get correct is plotted on a chart, and students can see the growth of these foundational skills from the beginning of the school year to the end. And students who had struggling with multiplication skills, division, and this Numeracy Ninjas has helped them out so much. They love it. They love the success that they get, and they're just wanting to get to the next level, and they'll do anything to go from blue to red. And when they get red, we all are just the happiest campers in the campground. They see the progress. It's not about I'm first and you're second. It's about you went from orange up to up 2 levels. Everyone else stayed or went up 1 level. They may have a higher score, but look at your improvement. Look how much better so everyone is able to have some sort of, to be proud of themselves in some way. Thursdays after school from 3:30 to 4:30, you can come into my classroom and you can ask me anything that you want. We can go over something, we can preview something if you just have some sort of question. And when you give them something concrete and solid like that, you will get more students in there. And I would have 3, 4, 5 students that would come in. They would form their own, well, if they were friends, I don't want to go by myself. So boom, now I've got 3 people because one student, and the other friends will come. And then if other people come, they now see, oh, I'm not the only one that struggles. And so that is more apt to make them come the next week. It's more apt when they're in the classroom, in the lesson, for them to go over and say, to seek out their homework club friend. So it creates some relationships also. Those who go, if you want to go that sort of step deeper, you look at how does math relate to things like architecture, geometry. I love architecture. One of the reasons why I travel and am here in Uzbekistan is for the architecture. And then when they start to bring in the idea of math with it, then you start saying, oh, I had no idea that the pyramids could not be built at an angle any further than that, because mathematically speaking, there's only a certain angle there. And then when you do that, then whenever you go to any other pyramid, you go, you know what? I know that a 35-degree slope is the largest you can do. You apply that. I've applied that with me snowboarding, and when I'm on steeps, you know what pitches to go onto and what not to go onto because of the angle of declination that a slope will have. Another thing you say is math is good as an adult is that idea of problem solving. It's something I said before about acquiring tools. Skills are like tools, and when you're able to acquire a set of skills, then you know how to use them.